Real quick, this video may not be Christmas related, but I want to say that this review will be my last review of the year 2018. The last review, Tales of Symphonia, was not a review I wanted to end this year on. It's not that it's a bad review, it's just not a game that I want to end the year on. I do want to end it on a re-review though, and while I may not have my best friend Brady joining me again for this review, but I'm gonna give him a break since he's still working on scripts for the second Sonic Marathon, which will hopefully start next year. I'm not trying to rush him or anything. In fact, Brady, if you're watching this, please take your time. Trust me, whenever I try to rush out scripts, they get really bad. Though this Sonic game is something I wanted to talk about again. Mainly because, well, I got Tails and Knuckles into Sonic's first stage, and oh boy. I still like the Sonic game, but I will admit that it really hasn't aged that well. And well, as a quick note, I will be recording this game through the GameCube port. This is just mainly due to the fact that there's this ugly border that you get on the Steam, PSN, and Xbox Live ports of this game. Sonic Adventure 2 does not have the border, and when I go and redo that review, I'm going through the PS3 version because, again, no border. Just here, the border just looks fucking ugly. Though, either way, it is time to break the sound barrier, because this is my review of Sonic Adventure. Now, there really isn't going to be a full talk about the story, mainly because it really isn't that good. It revolves around this creature called Chaos, which is apparently a mutated Chow. Yeah, wrap your head around that one. And Eggman is basically feeding a Chaos Emeralds to digivolve it. During this time, Sonic and Tails are trying to stop him, but runs into
crazy purple knockout gas!
Knuckles is thrown into this plot mainly because Chaos somehow destroyed the Master Emerald. Amy in her first playable debut is apparently living in the main setting of this game called Station Square. Another newcomer to the series I will admit really adds nothing to the plot is Big the Cat, and the mere mention of his name may piss off Sonic fans enough, but anyways, I actually do like his style of gameplay, but the only reason why he's in the game in the first place is because his pet frog named Froggy, yeah, real original, swallows Chaos's tail. I will not even begin how the hell that's possible, but because of that, Eggman builds the E-series of robots. The one we take control of is E101 Gamma, and his task was finding the frog to get Chaos back to full health. Though when meeting Amy, she shows the bot some kindness, and, well, Gamma sets her free. When seeing how cruel Eggman can be, Gamma decides to save the other E-series of robots by destroying them. I don't think Gamma knows what saving means, but in all actuality, for those of you who aren't Sonic fans, Eggman uses little woodland critters to actually power some of his robots, and that is what Gamma is saving. Though when you complete all scenarios in the game, you can unlock the Supersonic Final Scenario, with Chaos not really being completely defeated. And it finds the other Chaos Emeralds and well digivolves into the monstrous creature we see here. Though using the positive power of the Chaos Emeralds, Sonic defeats Chaos in its perfect state. This was really abridged, which I was surprised I could do pretty decently. But the story really isn't good, though the gameplay is the best part of this game. And let's go down the list one by one, starting with Sonic. Just like in the classic days, he's all about getting to the end of the stage as fast as possible. For attacking, he now has the homing attack, in a technical sense making his return from Sonic 3D Blast. In that game, the Gold Shield power-up allowed him to perform it, but now it's a natural ability. And if you notice these light orbs hovering around Sonic when he charges up Spin Dash, this is for two moves, the Lightspeed Dash and the Lightspeed Attack. The dash allows Sonic to travel across a trail of rings, which is actually a pretty nifty idea. and the Lightspeed attack homes in on a target, though I really ain't sure what the Lightspeed attack is mainly used for. Only because, well, aside from getting into Red Mountain and the extra damage for Chaos 6, it really does not have any other uses. And for the Lightspeed dash, unless it's necessary, I really don't use it. And this is only due to the fact that for both moves, you need to charge it up, and it really does not have a flow whatsoever. Now, the only level that really isn't that good is Casinopolis, but that's, well, mainly due to the fact that you're playing pinball for a majority of the level. Now, depending on your taste, you may not really like this level whatsoever, but I sunk a lot of time into it, but that's just because I like pinball. Ice Cap makes a return, but the only part I really like is the snowboarding section. I just love the sense of speed in that section, but then again, I just like snowboarding and skateboarding. Too bad I fucking suck at both of them in real life, but thank God for Tony Hawk Underground 2. Though the only stage that I personally really did not like is Final Egg. For me, it just felt like it went on way too long, and it was just not well designed. Though from what I've heard from a lot of people, Skydeck really isn't a good level in their opinion either. And I only remember having a horrible time in one certain section, but just in general, I think it's a decent level. In the second section, there's a threat of being blown off the egg carrier, and in all my playthroughs, I have never had this happen until I recorded for this game. The last section is, well, just alright, and really isn't that bad. Though I personally never had a horrible time in this area, though I will agree that it really does give some bad angles. Bosses are fine, well, except for Chaos 4, I'll get to him in Knuckles, but I hate the Egg Viper. I just really get some horrible luck during this boss fight. Heck, when I used the homing attack to hit these glowing spots in the footage I recorded, I somehow glitched through the fucking tail. I don't know how that happened, and oh boy, it just fucking sucked! Tails is basically the same as Sonic, but you're racing the blue blur in all levels except for the level that's still the bane of my existence, Speed Highway. In this level, you don't race against Sonic, but you race against Eggman. Though regardless of who you're racing, you really shouldn't lose at all. Though apparently these fucks have a major rubber band, same as the boulder in Sonic's Lost World level, but I haven't ran into it whatsoever. Tails is really fun to play as, mainly because if you get his jet anklet, you can get some pretty good speed while flying around. I love using the rhythm badge, mainly because his tailspin attack is so fun to use. But with the constant spinning, you can get some good speed and destroy all who stand in your way. Though his levels are a little bit underwhelming, mainly because it's just certain sections in Sonic's stages. Tails does have his own section in Speed Highway that he does fly around to beat Eggman to a missile, but it's just kind of short. All bosses aside from his final boss are shared by Sonic, and the Egg Hornet is the only decent boss in his scenario. And while his final boss kicked my ass when I was younger, but it's a fucking pushover. Beginners shouldn't have a problem with it whatsoever, and if you do, just remember, use the rhythm badge a lot. It will definitely help you with this boss. Knuckles really isn't about speed anymore. He's still got it, but he's more about exploration. Again, the Master Emerald got destroyed by Chaos somehow, so Knuckles is gonna try to recover the pieces. You got a radar that tells you where all 3 pieces in a stage is located. And all stages are small, so you really shouldn't get lost in any level. I don't know why, but I really do love these stages, and I don't say that because I'm not really big with exploration. And these stages really get me to actually explore the surroundings. These pieces can be out in the open, inside of enemies, or well, just underground. And when they're underground, this is where the Shovel Claw comes in, and it's better handled in SA2 than it is here. Mainly because you have to hit the A button and the action button at the same time in order to trigger it. The bosses that Knuckles fight are not good, especially Chaos 4. Now you have to fight this fucker a total of 3 times, and those other 2 times are in Sonic and Tails' scenarios. There is no way to skip this fucker whatsoever, and it's the worst one in this damn game. All this fucker does is swim around the battlefield and randomly pops his head up. Yeah, it's just shit. though the fight with Chaos 2 is really confusing. I only say that because I can't figure out when to actually damage this guy. He has a shield that blocks attack, and I just feel like it's random to actually get a hit on. Knuckles also fights Chaos 6, but if you got a boxing glove upgrade that turns their gloves yellow, you can use it for extra damage, though same with Sonic, I also somehow fucked it up during the boss. And the special attack that it gives you, I really don't use it except for said boss. This is only due to the fact that when it's charged up, Knuckles slows down. It has the same problem that I have with the Lightspeed Dash and attack. This is because it has absolutely no flow whatsoever. In her first playable debut in a mainline Sonic game, she's alright. I kinda wish Amy has more speed, but that's only cause I swear she is slower than I remember. In her scenario, she's being chased by a robot called Zero, trying to get the bird that she's looking after. And well, she only got 3 stages, and they're all about platforming, and well, they're alright. But again, I just want some more speed with her, cause I don't remember her ground speed being this slow. Attacking with her hammer can indeed get the job done, but the only attack you should not be using whatsoever is her spinning hammer attack. This is unlocked after you get her first upgrade, and it's spinning in place with her hammer. It has no practical use whatsoever. It would have been better if she came like a Beyblade when you use this attack, but then again, I just really like the rhythm badge. She also has a hammer upgrade, which gives her extra range, but you really should not need it whatsoever. And while her final boss seems like a fucking afterthought. Gamma is all about running and gunning, but you gotta do it fast cause this fuck has a time limit. You start off with 2 minutes, but you can get extra time by shooting enemies. Combos give you more time, so as long as you got big combos, you really shouldn't run out of time. Gamma stages are alright, but the only thing that really does suck are the end stage bosses. You can beat these bosses just by tapping the action button, and they fall like dominoes. Gamma's first upgrade allows it to hover for a little bit, and the Laser Blaster upgrade gives a bigger blast radius, but I don't see a use for it at all. The final boss against E101 Beta is a greater threat, but just keep moving around and you really shouldn't lose. And now Big the Cat. I can understand the hatred to his style of gameplay, though I personally really don't mind it. He's a fisherman that doesn't carry a net, but again, I personally like his levels, though I am the man who really does love Sonic 3D Blast. Hey, it's not my favorite anymore, as Generations taking that spot, but I still love that game. Big is trying to save his best friend Froggy, and to get the frog, you gotta fish the fucker out. It's not hard, though this can get difficult only because of the other fish also going for the bait. You can move the line around, but it feels really stiff. And also for the main objective of getting Froggy or just other fishes for more emblems, they can apparently just let go. This really shouldn't happen, mainly because I'm pretty sure a fish can't get a hook out of their mouth once it's pierced the tongue, though I can definitely see where the hate comes with Big the Cat. And something that I think would have been better is that for Amy, Gamma, and Big is for their scenarios to be optional. And if they were optional, I don't think people would have a problem with them. Now, if you notice I didn't talk about Sky Chase, well, I was saving it for this part. And well, yeah, Sky Chase really is not good, like, at all. This is turned into an on-rails shooter, and once you figure out the lock-on aiming system, it's a boring, pathetic joke. The worst part is the fact they gotta play these 2 stages twice in Sonic and Tails' scenarios, though I think we can all agree that Chaos 4 is the worst. Again, this fucker just pops up whenever it feels like. There's also a racing minigame which, well, it's just alright. During Sonic's first section of Twinkle Park, you can take control of these carts, and while they handle alright, it's no Mario Kart, and I'm still trying to figure out if the controls work better here or in Sonic Adventure 2. Each character can drive around the course, but I cannot figure out how to get everyone else in the track. You can get Sonic, Amy, and Big in the course, though that's only because, well, they go through Twinkle Park. And I got very lucky to figure out they can actually get Tails into the racetrack using this key card. But then again, I think I'll just stick to getting him into Emerald Coast. But either way, it's just alright, though I feel like you actually drive in the same exact course every single time. So once you play it once, you really don't need to go back to it. There's also the Chow Garden. I haven't spent a lot of time in this mode, but I may do a stream of it one day. There's 3 of these Chow Gardens, and in each garden there's 2 basic Chow eggs, but you can get more Chow eggs by doing shit like shoplifting. The animals you get from destroying enemies can raise the stats of your Chows, and these are for the Chow races. I don't think I've ever won any of these races, but if your Chow does win the race, you can get an emblem. And just in general, I just don't bother with Chow Garden that much. A lot of people love the Chow Garden, but again, it's just not for me. Now, just in general, when you beat a level, you can get an emblem. And there are different objectives in each level that you can do to get more emblems, and you can find emblems scattered across the field, or hell, just keep on winning races in the Chow Garden. Exclusive to the DX version is Mission Mode, where you can complete objectives in the action field to get more emblems. Getting X amount of emblems in the DX version unlocks Game Gear games, and I don't think they're in the other ports of the DX game. I only say that because when I recorded this game, I unlocked Sonic 1 and Sonic Drift, and I have the same amount of emblems on my PS3 copy, but they ain't unlocked. You can also unlock a Metal Sonic skin where you get every single emblem in the DX port, but I personally never bothered with it. Just playing the basic game is all enough for me. The DX port graphic-wise is not up to par with other GameCube games, and the Dreamcast graphics are, well, good, but no matter what, the animation is stick up the ass. It's just so fucking stiff, and I doubt Sonic Team didn't know how to animate 3D models, only because it's Sega Saturn. Everything else looks pretty good, though the lighting is definitely better in the Dreamcast version. Everything in the DX port looks more plastic, and for some bizarre reason they changed up some textures in the DX port, and well, I think I prefer the DX textures. I think that's only because I'm just used to the DX port in general. The models also got a change in between ports, but for the newcomers they barely did a thing. Shit, I don't even think they touched Gamut at all. Voice acting is really mixed, and damn, some of them just sound off. I think the worst is Tails, Knuckles, and the character I have never mentioned in the story summary named Tikal. Out of all of them, Tails is indeed the worst, but they aren't bad, it's just that their acting could have been better. I love this game's soundtrack, it just sounds awesome. They got a lot of different genres that they crammed into this game, and the only lone theme I really did not like is Speed Highway. And yeah, this is only because I hear my name all the damn time in the soundtrack, and it gets annoying. Alright, so now taking account of gameplay, graphics, and sound, Sonic Adventure goes from a 9 out of 10 to a 8 out of 10. This game has indeed aged, but I do think it's still a good game, and way better than Sonic Adventure 2, mainly because the levels are better paced here than there. Now, I do plan on redoing Adventure 2 as well, but towards the end, those levels tend to take forever. Oi! But the levels here, as I already said, don't feel like they take forever, and are reasonably paced. I can see the hatred towards the gameplay for the newcomers, but in my opinion, they really ain't bad. Though I don't think there would have been a problem if these scenarios were optional. The other scenarios are really great, but the majority of the bosses, no matter what scenario, just sucked. It does not help that I have to fight some of these bosses more than once, with no change whatsoever. And yeah, I bitched about this in Devil May Cry 1, where stuff like this was better handled in Devil May Cry 4. In that game, you fought the same bosses, but more stuff actually changed. Yeah, the bosses use the same exact strategies, but you're controlling Nero or Dante, and well, yeah, those two have similar attacks. What changes is their abilities and what weapons they have. Nero uses the Red Queen, which can be revved up like a dual runner to bring some heavy pain, with his gun being slower. Dante has more weapons than Rebellion, with my favorite weapon being, as I said in that review, Lucifer. I really hope I don't go to hell for saying that, but his guns are also faster. Here, aside from a couple of moves, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, well, they're interchangeable. And yeah, this is about Chaos 4, because for fuck's sakes, this fucker can take forever because it's random when he pops up for the kill. Other than that, I love the soundtrack, and I think the voice acting is just mixed. And, well, the level design is really good. Overall, this game has aged, but I still think it's pretty good. Though it shouldn't be your first Sonic game. Start with Generations or the first 3 on the Genesis. Those will be a better start into the Sonic universe, and hey, if you like them, give this game a shot.
This fight is not